Welcome to the Movie Epic podcast, joined as always by the Clown Prince of podcasting.
Oh, yeah, that would be me.
Oh, not done yet.
Okay.
Oh, not done your intro yet. Don't jump in. For sure, don't jump in. The Clown Prince of podcasting, the number one fuckboy, the number one cuckboy, Chadley J. Fox.
Where's a big watch? Where's a real big watch? Real pile of shit.
I'm your host, Buck Hollywood LeDuc. A couple of 1-2 Jay Leno's on the couch.
Ooh, with the blazers.
Yeah.
I feel like royalty. I'm fucking steaming. I'm really warm, but I feel like a businessman. Like this is my job.
Yeah, business dad.
Which it is.
I think there's someone like across watching.
Ooh, yeah, they're getting the live feed. They're getting the live feed.
Hey, we should put a little sign in the window that says
Movie Epidemic live feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, look, you're getting the visual, you're not getting the audio, obviously. So head on over to punchnerds.com, check it out, because you can hear the full thing.
You have a 1080 video, you can see our giant bodies in these little suits.
Yeah, you can see big boys with big dicks.
A couple of big dick men.
So welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. It's the first official episode of Spooky-tober.
Oh wow.
Oh fuck, I'm so excited.
I forgot to tell you this, but I went to a fortune teller.
Oh, okay. Ooh, here we go.
I went to a fortune teller and she was like, you have a brother. I'm like, nope, don't. And she's like,
try again, bitch.
She's like, someone you quarrel with, someone who has been watching Victoria and Abdul instead of watching the actual Pod movie. And I'm like, you might be onto something.
Yeah, I checked out Victoria and Abdul.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Blade Runner came out.
I know. I went to the fucking theater to see Victoria and Abdul the night that Blade Runner came out. There was 7 people in the Victoria and Abdul theater.
You know where there was also 7 people?
Where's
in
that?
Blade Runner, because it made no money this weekend.
No money. What, it make like 13 million in its first weekend?
It made 30, but it was projected for 90. So,
ooh, yikes! Here's the thing: is that I'm really hoping that it's still in theaters by the time we're done Spooky-tober, because you're going for round 2, obviously.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you're going for round 2 of
I
Blade
like to
Runner.
just sit in a very specific 3-hour film that no one is enjoying around you, and everybody's like debating if they should walk out because literally nothing's gonna happen,
and you're just soaking your pants.
Nothing does, but it's awesome.
I've heard it's a fucking masterpiece, but also that it should not exist.
It shouldn't exist. When I walked out, I went with my dad, and I'm like, I'm shocked they were able to make this. He's like, no fucking shit. It's like, because we watched the first one the night before, and he's like, this is a weird movie that shouldn't have been made. And I'm like, yeah, a
little bit. There's a weird I actually rewatched the original Blade Runner last week as well, and you had mentioned the weird rape scene, I think, previously.
I mentioned that on the pod.
Yeah,
I remember talking about it.
and I had never noticed it before either, but it's in there.
It's in there.
It's in there, and it is real bizarre. Dude.
Oh, I mentioned it because I went to go see it in theaters like 6 months ago.
With the original Blade. Oh yeah, that's right. You went and saw that. Was it the final cut that you saw?
That's right.
Or the final draft? I feel like there's a final cut, a final draft, a final showing. Like
all you need to know is that the final cut is the one that you have to watch. So
yeah, and that's the one that was released in 2004, I think. 2007,
maybe.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah. Either way, Ridley Scott is clearly an insane person whose vision continually gets raped. So I'm really excited to see what he's got. He's cooked up some fucking gangster movie or something. I saw a trailer for it the other day, and I'm like, Ridley, you got 5 Alien movies to make. You're on borrowed time.
You're 80 as fuck.
You're really old. Yeah. You got to finish this Alien franchise, otherwise we're never seeing the rest of them.
So on Brew Epidemic, what do you got? On the pipes here today?
On the pipes today, I have a Half Hitch Brewing Company brown ale. It's actually made from like greasy. Chocolate and caramel, I think.
Greasy.
Yeah, it is greasy. It's 5.5. It's actually like shocking. Do you want to give her a sip?
I'll give it a sample.
Yeah, give it a sample, dude. It's pretty good, actually.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be dirty. Cool can though.
Yeah, it's a fucking awesome can. If you've never heard of Half Hitch Brewery, they're really fucking cool. Local
it's
brewery.
Good malty.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, it's a fucking good beer, man. What do you got on the chops?
I got the Tricycle Grapefruit Radler from Parallel 49.
Ooh, a little Parallel 49 for you.
It's the end of summer, so that means it's the end of Radler season, and I'm excited that this was the trend this summer was Radlers because
I'm not a fan. I don't like Radlers.
I think they're fantastic.
No,
it's like drinking juice.
No, dude, ew! Don't put fruit in my beer for sure.
Doesn't even taste like beer. It tastes like juice.
Oh, don't drink juice then. For sure, just drink a beer.
Juice. But juice is delicious.
Fuck, I'd rather have a Molson Canadian. I'm sorry, I take that back, dude. That was really offensive, and I just feel really bad about it now that I've actually said it. Mm-hmm. So welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast, and welcome to Spooky-tober. We're going to be watching so many fucking horror movies this month. There's so many this year. I feel like we were striving, but either way, we're going to get to as many of them as we can. I guarantee we're not going to get to all the ones I want to get to.
Well, I'm going to watch a lot of horror movies. Chadley is going to fuck around and play golf and not do the pod.
Well, no, I was playing golf. You texted me earlier today because we had plans to do the pod today. You texted me and you said, stop playing golf and watch the pod movies. Motherfucker, I got the movies watched before pod time, all right? That's all that concerns you, all right? That I got the films watched before pod time. Almost gouged my fucking eyes out watching 2 back-to-back garbage flicks.
That's why you can't save them.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't have saved.
You definitely can't save 90s Stephen King shit.
Yeah,
you can't save it.
I know. But now it's fresh, Now it's fresh.
Sure.
So when we talk about some of this stuff, it's going to be right off the dome. But let's talk about one of the biggest horror movies of the year. This is one that people are talking about. This is Rings.
Oh, are people talking about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big horror franchise. The first Ring is debatably one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I actually
Ring's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really great. I've actually seen both The Ring and Ringu, which are both really great movies. The same fucking movie, but they're both really good.
Oh yeah, same movie. You know what? I saw
Japanese one has a bit more magic.
Yeah, same with Rings Part 2. There's a lot of rain going upwards.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
Oh, not scary.
Not scary. What is that supposed to be?
And that's another thing that happened a lot in Rings is rain and water moving upwards.
And Johnny Galecki just being so buffaloed by the whole thing.
Why did the rain going upwards stick? Like, that's not scary.
Yeah,
it's not scary.
Who looked at this movie and was like, you know what? The Ring 2, we can basically garbage that entire movie, but there is one thing I want to keep. I don't keep any of it. Why don't we just because The Ring 2, just on the topic, is bad. It's really it's horrible. I haven't seen it in a couple of years. I just remember last time I watched it just being.
I mean, Rings is worse, but Rings 2 is bad.
I would say Rings is very bad. Rings is very bad, but I think The Ring 2 might be a touch worse.
Nah, you haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. It's certainly been a minute. But let's talk about Rings. Okay, so immediately you're really, because here's the thing. Here's what I knew about Rings going in. I knew it was a sequel to The Ring, and I knew Galecki was in it. Yeah. And he rolled up fast, dude. He rolls up maybe in the first 10 seconds of the movie, and he overstays his welcome immediately.
Yeah,
like the second he shows up, you're like, oh, I hope he's not in this movie very much.
He's in quite a bit.
Don't worry, he's in quite a lot.
Here's the thing about Galecki. Our boy Galecki, he seems to be typecast as some sort of a nerd character just because he's been in a nerd show.
Not smart, though.
But he doesn't look smart. That's like the thing about, like, I think they cast him in Big Bang Theory because they're like, oh, that guy's kind of like not.
Well, he's not handsome. And I think that's
true.
He's not handsome. And they're like, we just need a guy who's like not handsome, but not handsome. So, like, it needs to be believable that Penny girl wants to fuck him, right?
Yeah.
Which it is not.
Well, it's like he clearly goes to the gym.
Maybe. But twice a week for 45 minutes at a time.
But he's not like, he's not a shredded boy.
Yeah, he's not a big lad. He's sort of thick though, He's sort of thick. He's not fat, but he's a little thicker.
Well, that's because he wears shitty clothes.
Yeah, he wears those big shirts. Why are you wearing big shirts all the time, dude? Oh, is that baggy jeans? Do you think it's 2007? Don't wear those for sure.
He's a rich lad. Doesn't need to be in anything.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, he makes
$1 million an episode. Why are you in stuff?
Yeah, what the fuck? Don't be in this.
Don't be in this.
There's no way, like, he gets paid more per episode of Big Bang Theory, which takes, I'm going to take a wild stab and say like 40 minutes to bump out at the most.
Well, they got it down to a science now,
yeah, exactly. They got it down for a science. But this movie was probably like a 3-week shoot, and he didn't even get nearly as much as he would for a single episode of Big Bang Theory.
And he looked exhausted too.
And like,
he's not used to that kind of workload.
When you see people who are in these massively successful sitcoms and they just roll up in something else, it's usually like 10 or 15 minutes or 10 or 15 years later when you're like, oh yeah, Kelsey Grammer's out of money, he'll do a Transformers, of course. But then Big Bang Theory is still running, and it's still wildly popular.
Did you ever see that movie, The Master Cleanse, with Johnny Galecki?
I try to avoid Johnny Galecki as a whole, but no, I have not.
It's kind of good. It's a weird body horror indie movie.
Ooh, I'm kind of in now.
And Johnny Galecki just looks so tired because clearly he was there every day of the shoot, and he's not used to that kind of workload. So like, he's just like, by the end of it, he's exhausted.
So with Rings, I think the stuff that works in this movie is the stuff that already worked in previous Ring movies. First things first, the aesthetic of the actual videotape. I have always just really loved that.
Sure, now it's a fucking AVI file.
Yeah, now it's an AVI file.
WMV.
That's sort of an interesting way to take it. Yeah, it's an MP4 now. It's an interesting way to take it, I think, from videotape. Was it a DVD in the second one? I feel like it was. No, it wasn't. It's been a minute.
It was still a tape, which was, I think they even mentioned that in the movie. They're like, why is this a VHS?
Yeah, who fucking watches VHSs, dude? Can we get this bitch on Blu-ray?
But see, at that point, it was established in the rules that it was a tape.
Here's the thing, though, is that if they released this tape on a Blu-ray, oh, I don't even give a shit that they call me and kill me. I'll watch it on Blu-ray for sure. It's a good looking tape. That's what I'm saying. Like, the aesthetic is neat. Mm-hmm. It's actually very chilling. Looks really cool. I mean, they added some new stuff. Yeah, they added some new stuff into this one, and it's part of the plot that there's new stuff on the tape. But there is also the old stuff that you remember from the first movie. So it's basically a rehash. It's the kind of trend of reboots where it's like you don't need to watch the other ones. That's like, I don't know if you ever saw Curse of Chucky, but yeah, I've seen Curse of Chucky.
That kind of did the same thing where it still had the history, but it kind of just did its own new thing.
Yeah.
With the new characters and whatnot, and that's kind of like what they were trying. But Ring was never like that. Really,
was Curse of Chucky? That was before Bride of Chucky, right? Or was it after?
No, that was from 2 years ago.
Curse of Chucky was 2 years ago?
I'm pretty sure you've never seen it.
Okay, maybe I've never, because I was pretty sure I've seen most of the Chucky ones, but if it was from 2 years ago, it must have slid under the radar for me.
So that one's actually pretty good. It's the prequel to Cult of Chucky, which we'll be talking about next week.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's pretty good. And then they just throw all that away in the Cult of Chucky.
I'm sure we'll talk about that.
But this is I find they're doing that a lot with horror movies now, just because they get so many sequels, right? That they're like, oh, we'll do like a soft reboot where like there's still some stuff that carries over, but it's just our new thing now.
Yeah. What's interesting about Rings, and not a good interesting, this is a bad interesting, is that they take the idea, because the rules, you know when you watch a horror movie and like it just ends and you're like, oh, I don't understand what the rules of that horror movie were.
Yeah. Okay,
this one, it's too clear. It's too clear. They tell you the rules right off the bat, and you're like, oh, and they make it like a science project, and you're like, oh, well, that's a good way to suck all the fun out of everything. There's no mystery. They tell you exactly how it works from the get-go.
Yeah, they explain it, but it's like, wasn't there already established rules? Why are they different now?
Yeah, I mean, they're slightly different now. But like the problem with because like the first movie, it's like they see the tape and they think the way to save themselves is to save Samara and like find her body or whatever. But then it turns out that's actually not the way to save yourself. And the way to save yourself is by copying the tape. Whereas in this one, they do the old switcheroo where it's like you think that copying and pasting the file is going to save them. But actually this time they got to find Samara's body.
Yeah, and they gotta burn it.
Yeah, they gotta burn it. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, don't pull the switcheroo on me. First of all, fuck yourself, because I this is already what I thought this movie was gonna be. But the fact that you're laying out the rules in front of my face at the beginning of the movie, that's insulting. Like, it's like they think the audience is too dumb to really get.
That's part of it for sure. There's definitely like things I liked about the first 2 acts, I guess. And then in the third act, when there's like that priest that raped everybody.
Like, Vincent D'Onofrio just rolls up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. So the thing about D'Onofrio is he shows up just to like explain the plot more.
Yeah. Oh, it's 100% exposition.
Yeah, D'Onofrio's turned into this guy where he just shows up to do an exposition of fucking what the movie's about.
And like the problem is that D'Onofrio turns out to be Samara's like biological father or whatever, or something like that. And like the first time they talk to him, he makes it like insanely obvious that that's what he is, and they don't get it. And I'm sitting there just like fucking screaming at the TV, like, you dumb bitch. Like, that's definitely like, she's in this house. You're fucking dumb.
In case everything wasn't clear from the very beginning, D'Onofrio's here to explain the plot once again.
Yeah. Another problem that I have with this movie is that Johnny Galecki plays the professor who's studying the tape or whatever, and he tells all his students about this spooky ghost story, and they all believe him without question, just immediately latch onto this as absolute truth. Like, nobody even looks into it. Nobody tries like to just wait 7 days to see if they die. I mean, I guess I wouldn't either, just to be safe, but like everybody is so into it. Like, they are 150% committed to this absolute truth that this videotape will kill you. I just think like, hey, you need to, I think the problem with this movie is that it didn't ease us into everything. It gave us the rules immediately. And we had these people who just fucking believed it just so you could get into the meat of the investigation, which is the part I care the least about. I want to know, like, them actually, I want them trying to figure out the effects of the tape rather than trying to track down Samara's body, which, by the way, they have done so many times.
I'm sorry, is this the Mummy? Why are you running through a tomb? Who gives a shit?
Oh, also,
you Tom Cruise? What the fuck are you underwater with a fucking mummy? Get the fuck out of here.
Also, just for clarification, you can't just wander into a cemetery and then start opening crypts. You can't just do that and just start like taking out bodies. You can't do that.
Hold on for a second. This is called Rings, because I'm pretty sure this is the Mummy.
Now one of the bigger problems of this movie is that I think the first movie didn't have, is that in the first movie, the main character is innocent, like, and totally likable and really, and just like actually a good character that you can relate to. She's got the kid that helps with the connection. The main character in this, she's sassy bitch, and I don't like her at all, because like I kind of want her to die. Like, and they sort of play her like this rude bitch who likes to, and she'll fucking just like she hits that guy. She hits that guy in the fucking hotel, dude. It's insane. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the main character. I also don't like her boyfriend. I don't like Johnny Galecki, but that might be
Johnny Galecki might have been my favorite character. That's what's crazy about it.
You know what? Call me crazy. I like the D'Onofrio character. Maybe it's because he's the only person in this movie who like had even like a lick of acting talent, like even a lick.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but he was solely there just to explain this plot to the dumb fucking teenagers that go pay to see this shit.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that is the problem with horror movies nowadays, is that instead of trying to really get into your head, they want to make sure that you leave the theater with this mindset that you know exactly what happened, even if you have an undeveloped 14-year-old fucking brain.
I don't want to know. I want to watch Blade Runner and not fucking know what the fuck's happening.
Oh man. And the problem is that Vincent D'Onofrio just rolls up.
Just rolls up,
dude.
All of a sudden, he's just third act. He's like, I should be in this movie. Yeah. It's like he just decided he needed to be in this fucking movie and showed up third act.
Another thing that I found weird is that so the main conflict of this movie is that they've been using the video and copying the video and making someone else show it, and what do they call them? They're like ringers or something like that.
I don't fucking know.
Something along those lines.
Oh, it's not.
But then this one girl who sees the tape, suddenly she can't copy the file anymore. But you know what she can do is put the file on her fucking iPhone. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing as copying it if she fucking puts it on her iPhone? Because she's watching it later. She's watching it back on the iPhone.
Look, I don't fucking know I don't know fucking know the dynamics of how the fucking Ring MP4 works. But apparently if it's in your fucking iCloud, you can just access it wherever, but you just can't give it to someone.
There's also like another
it's in the iCloud.
It's in the cloud. You'll never get it back. It's in the cloud now. Which will be the fourth movie is it's going to be like you got to upload it to the cloud and make everybody watch it or something. But there's also another point in this movie where cuz like the problem with this movie we've sort of touched on it quite a bit, but the problem is that it talks down to you like you're fucking 13 years old. And that's I have a great example of that. There's so the D'Onofrio character is a priest, and they say that. They tell you he's a priest. But in case you didn't believe that he's a priest, here's his Bible collection. Let him go through his fucking collection of Bibles. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed to fully understand this character. I wouldn't have believed he was a priest if he didn't have a Bible collection. Don't show me shit like that. I don't need to see shit like that. Yeah,
it's a fun visual.
Yeah, this one's bad. It's probably the least subtle film of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely. But there's like like when the fucking hand comes out of the TV, that's pretty scary. Right?
I mean, I've seen that before though. Like the hand coming out of the TV. It's not new for the series. In fact,
what I did like though at the beginning when they're on that plane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Pretty cool scene.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
It was promising. I'm like, oh, this might not be that bad. Then that's nosedive.
That's sort of what I said. And like I said, the original Gore Verbinski's Ring, like the original one with who is it? Naomi Watts was in that.
That's right.
That's a great fucking movie. So I was really hoping this was going to be good. I really wanted this to be good, and I just walked away, just kind of pissed off.
What are you gonna give that on the Chadsky scale?
So on the Chadsky scale, that's gonna rock a 1 star.
Yeah,
bitch.
It's gonna be 1 star.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Chadsky scale.
That's gonna be 1 star across the board. So the Rings is the third entry in the Ring franchise. So in light of that, what we decided to do was do our top 5 horror threequels. Not I don't want to
give anything give away, but The Rings is not on my list.
Ooh, shit. Rings might be on my list. Nah, just kidding. I would never fucking put Rings on any list, honestly, unless it was like top 5 worst horror threequels. No, I'm just kidding. There's so many bad ones. So I'll start off here. What's that?
So your cat crying?
Yeah, she's crying. Don't worry about her. She's fine.
I can hear it on the.
Yeah, it's
picking it up on my mic though.
She doesn't know what she wants right now. She's still thinking about it. Is she still in there? Yeah, she's still in there. Yeah, she's fine. She'll figure it out.
It's on the camera. You better head over to punchnerds.com and check out the video portion for it's climbing out.
Yeah, there she comes. Here she comes. Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
She's going to you. But
what's your number 5?
My number 5. Now I know that you have rewatched recently in preparation for us talking about Cult of Chucky. You've rewatched all the Child's Play movies.
That's right.
I don't think Child's Play 3 is one of the better of the Child's Play movies, but it's pretty fucking good. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Wild. That's my number 5.
Yeah, and that one's the same number 5?
That's right.
Yeah. It's official?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember because it has been a couple of years. Sure. But Child's Play 3 is the one where they go to is that like the one where he goes to the military school?
Yeah, that's the military school.
Yeah, that one's so much fucking fun, dude.
I don't really like it that much, but like there are worse ones in the series, and also like by that time, like the mid 90s, I feel like the Army Academy trope is already like worn tired.
Yeah, by Pauly Shore in what's that fucking In the Army Now?
And they kind of PG it up, and there's not as much bloody kills, but there are some fun ones like the barbershop kill.
Oh yeah, the barbershop kill, fucking classic, dude.
And then there's like the garbage truck kill. That one's pretty good. There's a couple other ones too that are fun.
Yeah, that one's good. Child's Play 3 is a lot of fun. If you haven't, I haven't. It's been a while since I've seen them, and apparently there's one that I haven't seen, Curse of Chucky, which flew under the radar because the last one I remember
really quick.
What's that?
You want to go through them all really quick?
Yeah, there's Child's Play 1.
Child's Play 1.
And that one's obviously a fucking masterpiece. That's the one where
straight up, great film.
Yeah.
Just like the kid.
Actually scary too. Like it's actually a really scary movie.
Quite scary.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, that's when it goes to the kid is in like a foster home or something. Yep. And then there's some more characters that are introduced there. Then 3 is the one we just talked about. And then there's Bride of Chucky.
Is Curse of Chucky the one with the wheelchair girl?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have seen this then.
Okay, well, I'm not there yet. There's so that was the 90s. Once we hit the 2000s, then we get into Bride of Chucky,
which is the worst one by a lot.
I like that one actually.
Really?
I think it's way more than Seed of Chucky, which is fucking horrendous.
What happens in Seed of Chucky?
Seed of Chucky's they have a little baby Chucky.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This is ringing a bell.
He's played by one of the Hobbits.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that one's fucking horrible. And then recently there was The Curse of Chucky, and now The Cult of Chucky.
Yeah, Cult of Chucky, which is the newest one. It's on Netflix. Actually, you can go watch it fucking right now on Netflix. It's free. That's what Netflix means. My number 4. Now, I think this is a series that gets way too much flack. And yeah, I don't think any of the later films are that good. The early Saw films, come on. That's fun. Saw 3 is great.
Bennington?
Saw 3 is great because they change it. Because like in the first 2 Saws, it's just like, oh yeah, you have to play these games to amuse Jigsaw. But in the second one, there's like a double kill because like there's the guy who has to play the games, and then there's the girl who also has to like counter his moves in order to save herself. It's pretty good. Saw 3 is a lot of fun if you haven't seen Saw 3. Yeah. I think it was like after maybe 5.
I've only seen the first one.
The first one's awesome. I actually really like the first Saw. Like
I'm due on a watch through all those. I'll get it done.
There's someone like weirdly famous, like Danny Glover or something. Or no, I think it's Fishburne. I think Lawrence Fishburne.
Fishburne?
Yeah, I feel like it's someone like that.
I know Chester Bennington's in one of them. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah. The Linkin Park guy, yeah. I don't remember which one he is, but you're right, he is in one. I feel like it's one that I've seen. But what's your number 4?
My number 4, I'm going to go down to Jason. This is Friday the 13th, part 3.
Ooh, this is a good one. Friday the 13th.
Like part 3 quite a lot.
3D.
Maybe.
This is a 3D, bitch. This is the one with the fucking harpoon gun.
Yeah.
And the one where he what's the word I'm looking for? He hangs himself
that's a fun one. I really like that one.
Yeah, Friday the 13th part 3 is great. My number 3 was a movie we talked about last Halloween. This is Return of the Living Dead part 3. This is the one with the scary goth bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
I forgot about part 3.
Yeah, so Return of the Living Dead part 3 is like actually fucking awesome. The more I think about it, just because like it's so different from the first 2.
Yeah.
Because the second one's so fucking bad.
Yeah, the second one's terrible.
So the second one's really
2 and
bad.
3 great films.
Yeah, one is great. 3 is amazing. I like. It's a lot of fun. Don't like that. She bit a cord, so I gotta hold on to her for a bit.
It's a small kid, and it's so cute.
She's 8 weeks, so she's really
it's
small.
The smallest kid I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's really tiny, so she can go play with something.
Oh, you're just tossing her around. What the fuck? My number 3. That's what I'm on, right? 3.
Yeah, number 3. Yeah.
My number 3, I'm gonna go with Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity. You know, this is one I've for sure never seen.
Yeah.
I for sure never.
It's fun, dude.
Here's the thing: is that you swear that we watched 1 and 2, and I don't recall any of it.
Wow, maybe it wasn't with you, but I've watched 1 and 2 with more than one person.
But then you described a scene from the first Blade, and I'm like, I think we did watch that, but why don't I remember anything about these movies, like at all?
I don't know. You're due for a rewatch, probably.
I might be due for a rewatch. I'm sorry that my cat is distracting you from Pod.
No, it's fine.
Wild Pod. My number 2, we already talked about it. Friday, part 3. 3D, bitch. He points the harpoon at the screen. Does a camera take and
but he does a camera take.
Points the harpoon at the screen. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Friday the 13th, 3D. Fucking incredible. You see it in. I would love to see that in like real 3D.
No, I want those shitty blue and red glasses to watch.
Yeah,
that's how I think you need to experience
like Spy Kids.
Yeah,
that would be fucking dope.
My number 2, I'm going with Army of Darkness, baby.
Ooh, shit. Well, I'm gonna throw out some spoilers here. This is in fact my number 1 favorite threequel of all time.
I figured it would be.
Army of Darkness is awesome, dude. definitely the best of the Evil Dead movies. Like, and there's not many. I was looking it up today. There's not many franchises where the third film is pretty standout.
Yeah.
And I think Evil Dead stands above. But now I am actually confused to what your number one is.
Well, there is one series where the third entry is a standout entry, and that's going to be Halloween 3.
Oh, yeah, of course. Season of the Witch. Is it the one with Paul Rudd, or is Paul Rudd in number 5?
I don't think Paul Rudd's in it.
Paul Rudd's in one of them, I think.
Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Michael Myers. He's not even in it.
Yeah.
It's just a weird movie where they travel to this town and they put poison in candy. It's real fucking weird, dude.
Dude, that sounds fucking awesome. So
it's gonna be at the movie marathon if you're coming.
Yeah. Oh, I'm coming, dude. I got the time off, dude. We're going.
You're gonna love I bought a fucking 3-piece suit that has fucking skulls all over it.
That's terrible. That's a wild waste of money.
Yeah,
but
of course it was.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the final Spooky-tober episode. We'll be talking about the Halloween movie marathon. Buck, you're mesmerized. You're mesmerized by
dude,
Kim.
I love it.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's fantastic.
It's so small.
Yeah, her name is Siri. She's wild. And just so tiny. I could crush, dude. And I'm scared because sometimes she'll sleep in between my legs while I'm sleeping, and I'm scared I'm gonna just crush her, dude.
Yeah, she's biting everything. I love it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of life changes in my life the past week or so. I got a big watch. I got a new cat. But there's one thing that's happening today that's bigger than all of that, and it's gonna be a life changer for me. And you know what that is?
What's that?
Riverdale starts tonight, bitch. Season 2.
Sucker.
Riverdale, baby. I'm so excited, dude. I fucking love Riverdale. It's so insane. It's so stupid. But that will lead us into we
might have to just start a Riverdale podcast. It's the only way I'll be able to keep up with Chadley.
Oh yeah, we should start a Riverdale podcast. That's a great idea. So our Stephen King pick of the week.
Yeah, what do we got?
What is it? Oh, it's Creepshow. George A. Romero. We were talking about Return of the Living Dead. That's not really related to George A. Romero, but
sort of.
Yeah, it's a fun segue. It's a fun segue. She keeps batting at the chords. We're gonna be potting all the time. You can't do this shit. But she's gonna hang herself 100%. But
don't talk about it. Just continue on.
So Creepshow is an anthology film.
Yeah. I'm not. To be fair, I'm not really an anthology fan.
No. Yeah. Me neither.
I've seen quite a few of them. I've seen.
I just watch short films if this is what I wanted.
What's that, like the Vault of Terror, or the fucking tower?
I don't know.
It's like the main British one.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen Heavy Metal, and I would call that an anthology film.
That's an anthology.
Yeah, 100% an anthology film. So here's the problem with anthology films.
Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're bad.
Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're bad. That is exactly the problem. Yeah. And in this, we have I think there was maybe 5.
Yeah, there was 5.
5 stories.
We should probably bring them up, right? And so that we know what they're
there's let me think. There was the birthday cake one.
The first one with Ed Harris.
Yeah, with a Father's Day skeleton zombie man. Then we got the Stephen King one.
Yeah, dude, that was wild.
Where he turns into a grass monster, man. And then after that,
that's the Leslie Nielsen one. Next,
then there's the Leslie Nielsen one, which is like by far the best one in the entire anthology. Then there is what's after that? Oh, is that the one with the gorilla? The weird gorilla, or is that the last one?
Crate, I think it was called, but I don't know if that's the last one or what.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the last one was the one with the cockroaches.
Right.
The one with the fucking wild stock man.
It was the Crate, I think it was called. There's a monster in a crate.
Yeah, and then I think the Leslie Nielsen one is called Something to Tide You Over, which is a great pun.
Yes.
So let's go through these one at a time. The first one is okay.
I don't really like the first one.
The first one's I think it's fine. Like it's definitely
boring
because like what I feel like happened here was that George A. Romero and Stephen King, who are like at the time considered the biggest horror writers and creators on the planet, they got together and they're like, let's just talk about our influences. Yeah. And then they talked about their influences and they're like, oh yeah, no, I think we could do all these different types of movies.
Well, it's fun because both Romero and King are like silly boys, but like they're also they like horror, but they're also silly boys.
Yeah, so you can tell
like a silly tinge to them.
You could tell that during his scenes, like Stephen King was clearly like playing around. Like that's like it's too ridiculous. They were obviously playing around. So yeah, what happened was they got together. The first one was clearly more Romero than King, I think.
Sure, because there was like the zombie that was like
trying
some
to
pretty good looking. Like Tony Savini obviously had some work on this film because there's some pretty good looking stuff in it.
And then there's like the birthday cake with the head on it, which is a pretty Romero thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's pretty dang Romero. And
I just couldn't get over how young Ed Harris was in this fucking thing.
Young buck, dude. Ed Harris,
little lad with blonde hair.
He just rolled up, and I'm like, what is happening here? And this one's okay. So essentially, what this one is about, the first one, is that this woman murders her father because he wants a birthday cake a Father's Day cake.
Yeah, Father's Day.
And he's like, I want a Father's Day cake. And she's like, no, I'm going to fucking kill you instead. So he comes back as a zombie and then basically kills a bunch of people and then turns them into a Father's Day cake. Yeah, it's pretty fucking Romero. That's maybe the most Romero thing I've ever heard. I want to see this as a full 2-hour film. I want to see this as a fucking creature feature, dude. I really want to see this movie. But that one, you can tell it probably didn't have much Stephen King influence.
Well, he wrote it. He wrote all of them. But.
Yeah. But I imagine they wrote them together. Even if they're not credited as such, it feels like they wrote the whole thing together.
Yeah, they probably had to sit down.
The second one is certainly more King than Romero.
Oh, it stars King, which is amazing.
Yeah, Stephen King plays.
That's one thing I respect about Romero, and like he's like, why don't we do a weird thing where you acted it? And he's like, all right. He's like, see how that goes.
Here's the thing: is that Stephen King might be one of the worst actors on the planet, but he's still better than most of the people who act in Romero films.
That's true. But he's looking like a wild-eyed motherfucker in this thing.
He's so like, goofy. Looking.
Close your eyes for sure. He's like a wild-eyed bitch, like a wild man possessed. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, dude, fucking Stephen King, and he's terrible. Like he really is. He really is horrible.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like that one too much, but like I kind of enjoyed just the spectacle of it and like how silly it was.
Well, yeah, because what that one is about is that this guy finds a meteorite and it cracks open and he gets this as he calls it, hold on, I think I wrote it down here. Oh, meteor shit. That's what he goes, oh, meteor shit. And so he gets the meteor shit on him, and in the places that the meteor shit was, he starts like growing grass across his body, across his entire body. And then we have like
cool effect though.
Yeah, and then like hey, don't bite that fucking cord. And then we have like the most Cronenberg ending I've ever seen to that one. Like that felt like a fucking Cronenberg ending.
That was a Berge one.
I'm like, is Berg in on this shit too? That would have been
Berge was in on
that would have been dope if it was fucking Berg, King, and George A. Romero making an insane anthology. Like that would probably
that's an anthology that I want to deal with.
Yeah, like if there was an anthology where, because like originally I know you had thought that George A. Romero just directed one of the segments, but he didn't. He directed all of them, and it would have been cool if we sort of split this up between.
I think it should have like had some. That's what I like about anthologies. You can watch a bunch of directors do work.
Have Kubrick make one. Fuck, I don't care. Make it insane.
Fuck it. Why didn't Kubrick do more anthologies? He would have been great at them.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. Fucking have young buck Tarantino try his hand. We'll see what he was up to in fucking 82.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he probably was making bad films. But so
he was jerking on ladies' feet still.
The problem is that the green monster grass man thing is just fucking stupid, dude. It's really stupid. And that's my main problem with that one, is that the concept is just so dumb that I can't, it's hard to watch. It makes it a tough watch.
It's the shortest one though. It's barely even anything.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 minutes. What's it called? The Death of Geordie or something or other. Geordie McNowell. I'm trying to remember the last name here, but either way.
The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrilli.
Geordie Verrilli, right. So that one is bad. Like I would say that one's like easily a 1 star.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the next one,
Something to Tide You Over.
Something to Tide You Over is like, if that was
I love it.
If it was a motion picture, that would be maybe a 5-star film.
I don't know if I just like seeing Leslie Nielsen play like a bad guy for once.
Yeah, because
like something about it was just, I loved it so much.
And it's sort of Leslie Nielsen out of his typical element while also staying in his element, because he's like an insane person. Yeah.
He's a psychopathic, silly person.
Yeah, he's a silly psychopath, and he does it perfectly.
Yeah.
However, Ted Danson, I'm not that much into Ted Danson. Thankfully, it's mostly a Nielsen show. But Ted Danson, I've never been a big fan, dude. He's too ugly to look at, I think. His head's too big. Like you can't fit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can't even fit it. Like there's too much space. You fit the brain in there, and now there's a bunch of empty space in his fucking chrome.
Sure.
Yeah. So Ted Danson, not so great. Fucking Leslie Nielsen, though, like that's a 10 out of 10 performance. Like he's incredible, man.
Yeah.
But This movie has a weird thing in it that I wrote down here, and I just sort of do want to address. It's something that bothered me when I was watching it, but it may just be a product of the time. It's like Windows Movie Maker transitions.
Yeah.
And like it feels like obviously Windows Movie Maker didn't exist at the time this movie was made, but it feels like the Windows Movie Maker transitions were based off this movie and only this movie, because you got like the fucking page turn and like the slide across, but with like a fucking bar of color. But what I do like about this movie is I really love the comic-y art style.
Yeah, the comic book transition is awesome. Like, I feel like that's a big problem in a lot of anthology movies is they don't have a good way to cement them together.
Yeah.
But the comic book is so good because like all of these things could be in a comic book.
Absolutely. Like, I think like it's honestly a perfect way to go from scene A to scene B over to scene C. Like I really like the comic book stuff. The beach segment is just it's so good. What this one is about is Leslie Nielsen. I don't know. Did they ever say what Ted Danson did to him, or if he's just mad?
I think they mentioned it, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, it's tough to remember.
It doesn't matter.
But so he's mad at Ted Danson for something, and so he points a gun at him and forces him to bury himself in sand, and then just lets the fucking tide take him, which is an insane thing because he fucking puts a CCTV video camera out there and then just goes into his house and watches it in bed like an insane person.
Well, he also buried his girlfriend.
Also buried his girlfriend. Yeah, it makes him watch the girlfriend. That's right. Right. And and then I think that it's such a great concept that they tried too hard and botched the ending. Because like the ending, it's like, oh, at the end, they come back as zombies, and it's like, okay, George, let's try something else.
Don't need to do that. Don't need to put the zombies in every single one.
I feel like there should have been a mediator between Stephen King and George A. Romero, because I have a feeling that when they were coming up with ideas, neither of them knew how to turn the other one's stupid ideas down. They just respect each other too much.
Sure.
But yeah, that one is fucking incredible. I really like that one. And then there is the fourth one, which is the Gorilla Ape Monster Man.
Yeah, it's called The Crate.
The Crate. So this one is good-ish.
I don't mind this one.
This one's fine. Yeah,
I like Yetis.
I think this one's too long is the problem.
It's pretty long, yeah.
And you could shorten it down too, because the movie itself is 2 hours.
Yeah.
The movie itself is 2 hours.
Long.
You can fucking
that's long.
Yeah, for sure this is too long. But you can cut down from 2 hours of cinema. And what they did here was for the first 15 minutes, it was just about nothing, and they were just at like this party, and they were like running around. Wilma was getting fucking blasted, which was a lot of fun, just getting real blasted.
Fun character. I liked her.
There is a really good scene where the main guy sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, he fantasizes about shooting his wife, and then
I like
everybody
that
fucking
section.
claps for him. That's a lot of fun. And it's actually really funny. I found myself laughing quite hard at that. Yeah. And then for like 15 minutes, it's just like a dude walking around a school. And then for like after that, it becomes then after that it becomes a monster movie, which is when I think the movie gets, that's when it gets good, because you have the Yeti Monster Man that was stuck in the crate, and it's dragging people in Little Shop of Horrors style, and eating the fuck out of them, biting their face. There is like the scene, because like here's the thing is that this one is like, it almost feels goosebumpsy because it is the 20-minute segments, but then you get stuff like a fucking claw dragging across somebody's face and ripping its fucking flesh apart, and you're like, oh, you could do this in Goosebumps for sure.
Absolutely not. This is Romero shit.
Yeah, it's very Romero. And then like there's a guy who's like pissed off because his wife won't fuck him, and then like,
oh, and that's the Stephen King part.
Yeah, there's the Stephen King. That's where Stephen King comes in, and it's that one's a lot of fun. I think the monster is good. Yeah. Like the monster is really scary, like actually terrifying. I would say that the Gorilla Yeti Monster Man in this movie is scarier than Pennywise from It.
Okay.
I think I would go as far. Maybe not the new Pennywise, but certainly the old Pennywise.
Fair enough.
At least in aesthetic. Obviously, I think Tim Curry's Pennywise is just creepy as F. Yeah. So maybe I'm overstepping here, but the man-eating gorilla dude, that's fucking terrifying. That's great stuff. Then we get up to what's probably the funniest one. This one's probably the most King. This one is for sure like almost exclusively a Stephen King one, where you have the stockholder who doesn't want to have fucking cockroaches in his house, and his fucking house is being infested with cockroaches.
Yeah, I didn't really like this one that much.
I thought it was very funny. Like, this one is funny. Like, I found, and I liked, I don't know who that was, E.G. something, I think it's E.G. Marshall, who was playing that character, and what's his name, Upton Pratt was his name, and that's a really great character.
Yeah,
but nothing.
I like the character, but like it's about cockroaches.
Yeah, this one's not about. Yeah, it's not, and it's not scary. There is a really great aesthetic of like the cockroaches like bursting out of his chest that I really like.
That's like it's some alien shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, and I'm like, oh, this it really does feel like some of this was like at least Cronenberg inspired, like. These people, they saw Scanners. They saw Scanners before they wrote the draft for this film, for sure. Yeah, and Creepshow, because it's an anthology film, it's really tough. You know, it's tough to really gauge where it goes. So in lieu of that, because some of this is 1-star material and some of it's 5-star material on the Chadsky scale, I'm going to run this at a 3.
I think I gave it a 4. I think it's enjoyable overall. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun to be had here, certainly, but I wouldn't call it. I don't think I would go as far as to say it's like a good movie. But it's a lot of fun, especially around the Halloween time. Like, I bet you, like, this would be great if it aired on like fucking AMC every Halloween. Like, that would be perfect.
Our buddy Luxie, his dad watches this movie every Halloween. It's his favorite. It's his favorite movie.
It's a good movie to watch on Halloween. Honestly, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What's our last movie of the day here?
It's going to be Gerald's Game.
Holy shit, dude. We got another Stephen King here. Stephen King, stop releasing movies. Got enough money now. Got enough money.
It doesn't matter. He's just selling his books. He has nothing to do with these fucking things. You're on record saying you like this more than It.
I do. I like this a lot more than It.
What the fuck?
I think this is a much better movie than It. This might be one of my favorite movies of the year. I think this movie is fucking awesome. Dude.
Really?
Yeah. I think this movie is great. It's on Netflix right now. If you haven't seen it, before we launch into the full review, I'm going to say this is an amazing movie. Like, this is a really fucking good movie, really surprisingly well shot. Like,
I think it's good until the last 20 minutes, and then it becomes a 2-star film.
You know, I don't even, I think I disagree with that. I think I completely disagree with that. I think the ending is great. Like, I actually do really like the ending where they have the guy who played fucking the butler from Addams Family up in there. Yeah, the guy who fucking plays Lurch. But that's actually true if you want to look that up.
Lurch is in it, y'all.
Lurch is in this movie. But yeah, no, I thought that was like really great. And actually, honestly, like the scenes where you see him like sort of standing at the end of the hall.
Yeah, it's scary as shit.
Yeah, real scary.
Don't need to see him as a person. Though.
Oh, I think that's part of it though.
Not
like
part of it for me.
I think that's part of it. And I really liked that. I really liked that aspect of this movie. So what this movie is about is this girl and her husband, played by what's the name of that guy? Glenn something?
Greenberg.
Oh, Bruce Greenwood. Bruce Greenwood. There it is. Bruce Greenwood of Star Trek fame. Yeah. Him and his wife go up to, to a cabin. It's isolated in the middle of the woods. Nobody fucking there. They didn't tell anybody they were going. Yeah. And he handcuffs her to the bed before, because he intends to fuck her like that. Yeah. And then he has a heart attack. And so she's handcuffed to this bed in the middle of nowhere, trying to get out. And it's a harrowing, emotional roller coaster. This movie, it's tough. It's a tough watch for sure. Mm-hmm. So essentially what happens is she ends up going insane, and she hallucinates all the things that she feels about her husband and like how he treated her. Mm-hmm. But then she goes so crazy that she hallucinates herself, and it's sort of a reflection of how she thinks of herself, and and it also takes you back to some trauma from her childhood. I actually don't want to give too much away, but it's great. Like I honestly, it's not scary. This is not a scary movie.
Psychologically tormenting. Though.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll fuck with you.
The fucking Moonlight Man's scary as shit, actually. I think he's definitely scarier than Pennywise.
Yeah, absolutely. He's fucking he's spooky. You got to give him your wedding ring or else he'll kill you or something, or he'll drag you into hell.
Don't really know the rules.
What are the rules? Yeah, but it's very another thing I will say about this movie is that, like, if you're not into getting scared by movies, this is a good movie to watch this month, but be prepared to vom, because it's pretty gross. Like, there are some pretty just horrific scenes in this movie that are
fucking trigger warning shit.
Absolutely. And it's pretty disgusting, the sort of shit they do. Like, and some of the work they do with prosthetics in this movie is incredible. Like, it looks amazing. Like, there's a scene, I don't want to give too, again, I don't want to give too much.
Okay, we have to talk about
the hand scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a scene where she's ripping flesh off of her hand.
Yeah, it's good. And your fucking hand's coming off like it's OJ's glove. Like, it doesn't fit anymore, and it's coming off.
It's fucking, dude, it's so
like, you can see like the fucking,
she's using like her own blood to lubricate it. Yeah, you can see the like the strings. It's all really fucking gross,
closest
dude.
I've been to vomiting in a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely an uncomfortable film. So be prepared for that, because it gets gross. It gets really gross. But I think that's part of the whole thing.
Well, that part, that's I'm for that. I'm for the grotesqueness.
Yeah. One thing I did not like about this movie, I will go on record and say this is an amazing movie. I really liked it a lot. But one thing I didn't like is that, like, for the first like 30 minutes of the movie, it's sort of shot in a way where you can't see the Bruce Greenwood character on the floor, but you can only see like his hand as she would. And then like halfway through the movie, they just sort of they just drop that, and then there's all sorts of shots. I mean, I guess it's tough getting varied cinematography in one single room, because most of this movie does take place in a single room.
I think that is the problem too, that they had to face throughout this, is that it needs to look interesting, but you in one room for the entire time. So and I have read this book before, so I do. I was wondering how they were going to get through like all the stuff that was in her head. Yeah. And I like that they did it with like hallucinations that were walking around in the room. I think that's a good use of it. I wouldn't have thought of that. So yeah.
And then like the performances in this movie are amazing. Like the main girl, I don't know her name. It's like, I feel like it's Michelle something, but either way, it doesn't matter. She's incredible. Right. She's fucking incredible. Bruce Greenwood, as always, is great.
We love him.
I like the guy who plays her dad too. Yeah. I think that he's good. And even the little girl, like the girl who plays the little girl is shockingly good. Like,
it's good. Like good. When you're an actor and like, they're like, okay, we need you to jerk off on to a little girl. And
that's good.
And you're like, all right. When he's like, I can get into this role.
Yeah. he's like, don't worry, I got you, fam. You need me to jerk off on a little girl? I got you, fam. That works for me.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting that you pulled that out of nowhere. Perfect performance of a man jerking off on a little girl.
I'm sorry, you gave a 7 out of 10 performance the entire movie, and then as soon as you got the jerk off scene, it's suddenly a 10 out of 10. What's all this about?
Harvey Weinstein shit.
This movie's also, I just think it's generally riveting. And I had a hard time disliking any parts of this movie. Even like the gross stuff. Like I powered through it easily because I was so interested in the characters and just so interested in where they were going to take it and what was going to happen next. And I know you don't quite like the ending, but I think they took it in a very interesting direction that sort of, it's almost like a plot twist.
I think it's I don't get it. Why did they do it like that?
I think sort of just to reassure that like she wasn't as crazy as she thought she was, but also I don't know if that's necessary, since it's like obviously she was at least a little crazy because she was hallucinating herself and her husband. But no, I think this is a great movie.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and if you have Netflix, you should go watch it immediately.
100%. I'm gonna pop that bitch sultry 5 stars on the Chadsky scale.
Really, 5 on the Chadsky scale. I'll give that a 4 on the Chadsky scale.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's more than fair. Not everybody's gonna like this movie as much as I did, but no, I do think this is a really great movie, and it's definitely worth checking out. Now, before we end off for today, it's been like a week and a half since we last podded, and it's just been insane on trailers.
Sure. Well, it was New York Comic Con.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember everything that was even there, because like there was just so much there. Let me think. Yeah, give her some beer. No, I'm just kidding. Don't fucking. It's
the Porgs.
Star Wars. Okay, yeah. Let's start off with Star Wars. Okay, first of all, that new trailer, incredible. Like, it looks fucking awesome. Like, the last trailer was like, okay,
way too much shit.
What?
Don't think it gives away too much shit.
I think a little bit. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But like, I think it makes the movie look awesome because like the first trailer that we had for this movie, it's like, okay, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, we know it's okay. We know it's Star Wars.
Yeah, we know it's Star Wars. Whereas the second trailer, it really shows you where they're going with it. Because the first trailer, let's be real, it just looks like it's Force Awakens again. Whereas this one makes it look like it has sort of its own identity, which I knew Rian Johnson would form his own identity in Star Wars, and I'm excited to see what he does there. But we do have the first glimpse of the miracle creatures that are porks.
Oh, we love porks.
Dude, they look so fucking awesome, dude. Like, what are they?
Yo, we broke the porg news, I feel like, on the internet. We've been talking about porgs for months upon months. And now people are going crazy for porgs.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with Baldroid too. BB-8, you and I were screaming about that. Yeah, we broke Baldroid, and then as soon as the movie came out, everyone's like, "This is the best character of all time," and I'm like, "I've been screaming about this because like they released the first Force Awakens trailer like seriously 14 months in advance. Like it was, it was true. You know, I don't even think that's an exaggeration. I think that's about how much time they gave Force Awakens, and I remember being worried that it was going to be drowned by hype because of that. But no, I think it works, dude. I think it's fucking great, and I think the movie looks really great. Now there's one more thing before we talk about the actual controversy of this trailer. There's one more thing I want to talk about is that we all got so excited that we were getting the original cast back from the original Star Wars movies, and in the last one we had Harrison Ford come back, and it's like, yeah, he old now, but he also good. Like he's still he's still fucking good.
When you see Blade Runner, you'll be like, oh, he still goes.
He's still good. Yeah, dude, he still goes. But like then in this one, Mark Hamill's returning as Luke Skywalker, which we only saw a glimpse of in the last film.
Yeah,
and
they let him talk.
Yeah, they're letting him talk, and they're letting him talk in the trailer, and it's just a reminder, like, hey, you're all excited that he's back to play Skywalker, but wow, here's one thing you forgot. Worst actor on planet, dude. He's fucking so
he's only
bad.
Good when he's doing a pastiche of the Joker.
Yeah, he's fucking doing a caricature of Joker voice. That's the best he can do. And like he did that for so long, and because of people who were so excited about the animated DC universe and like the Batman animated series and stuff, they sort of, I think they lulled him into this false sense of security that doing a silly voice is good acting. And he's like, oh, I'm a good actor then, so I can just do other stuff. Yeah,
which is I've noticed. Like,
yeah,
you look at his face and you're like, he's not.
Yeah, this dude's waiting for lunch right now.
when you watch the original Star Wars and he's like in a black turtleneck and he's like trying to act, and you're like, well, it's fine. He's never acted before. It is what it is.
Yeah, but now he's had 30 years of seasoned work, and he still hasn't figured it out. He might be worse now.
Yeah,
honestly,
probably worse now.
Probably worse. Yeah. But either way, I think the movie itself looks fucking incredible. Obviously, it's Star Wars, right? It's gonna be exactly what it is.
Sort of.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I want to watch it, but I'm gonna be there day one, so Disney wins.
Yeah, absolutely. We also got a new Justice League trailer. Looks the same and still looks like it's not done.
Hey, are you gonna finish this movie? It comes out next weekend. Fucking finish this.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Are you still telling me that that's what Cyborg looks like? Are you still telling me that he looks like he's standing on a green screen? It's insane. You can't. That's not a finished movie. Like, I can't believe they're. And like, here's the thing. At this point, we're screaming about it. They're gonna release it like that. Like, I would love to think that they're still working on it in post, but they're not. It's done.
It has to be done.
It's done, dude. So I think that's just how that movie's gonna come out, and that's too bad, because I think we're gonna have another Batman versus Superman. We could have had another Wonder Woman, which is a good movie. We could have had another Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman still looks like shit, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
no one ever mentions it. Doesn't look like a real movie.
Yeah, but that one was like Zack Snyder. What's the word I'm looking for? Zack Snyder encouraged, whereas this one's just Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. It's like, oh my god,
that's a stew of things.
Okay, here's one that I want to talk about real bad. This is what I really fucking want to talk about. John Krasinski in Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I'm sorry, wasn't Tom Cruise already making these movies? Wasn't Tom Cruise already?
That's Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher.
It's a different thing. Jack Ryan was played by Harrison Ford in Clear and Present Danger. And,
okay.
Other ones.
John Krasinski?
John Krasinski, sure. Ben Affleck's played him.
But no. But you're not really listening to my question. John Krasinski.
Dude, Johnny K is a big strong guy now. That's what he plays.
Yeah. He said he's still a big strong guy, but he still has that nerfy face. I don't buy it, dude. You can't be government man.
You don't think he can be government?
I don't think he'd be government man.
Did you ever see that one with Ben Affleck and I think it was Samuel, Some of All Fears? That was
yeah. I've seen. I did not know that was a Tom Clancy film, but yeah, I have seen Some of All Fears. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy.
It's a soft
Jack Ryan, come on. But yeah, you were right. I did get Jack Ryan and Jack Reacher. What's the fucking difference? Isn't Jack Reacher also Tom Clancy?
No, I think it's like Lee Child or something. Or like another one of those guys that just churns out shit books.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about one more trailer from the New York Comic Con.
We got something to save for next episode or what?
Yeah, we'll save a couple. But Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought this looked really cool, and I was really excited to see this because I like the first one a lot. And then I see the new trailer, and I'm like, oh, same movie with John Boyega.
Yeah,
it's the same movie. Yeah, just the same fucking movie. Which yeah, I don't even think I'm gonna be that mad at it because I like the original Pacific Rim, and if you just show me the same thing but with better graphics, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just it's giant robots fighting aliens, and I think unlike the Transformers series, they're like, okay, we don't need anything else, and they got it down. They're like, we got giant robots fighting aliens, perfect.
No cops.
And then Transformers is like, all right, we got giant robots fighting other giant robots. King Arthur tie-in. It's like, oh yeah, fucking Cogsworth. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Transformers. Dude, that's one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen.
It's fucking horrible.
It's
I've seen a lot of like mediocre reviews of it too, and be like, oh, go worse on it because it's horrible.
And if you want to talk about stuff that we don't like, make sure you tune in next week. Because, oh boy, that's going to be, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I think I would classify that one as a scream. So, dude, I'm going to be yelling. I'm pretty pissed off.
That's the shit we don't like.
Yeah, that's the shit we don't like. Next week, we're talking Cult of Chucky. That's one of the big hitters for Spooky-tober this year.
Sure.
Just came out last week on Netflix, I think on the 3rd.
That's a franchise, boy.
Yeah, it's a franchise, boy. We're also going to be talking about The Void. Don't know why you had me watch that, but we'll talk about that. And then we're also going to be talking about Stephen King's Thinner from 1996. Make sure you tune in. You can follow me on Twitter at Chadley Movie. Going to be a lot of Riverdale jokes coming, so get ready for that.
Ooh, follow me at Last Cool Dude.
Yeah. And if you currently follow me and you don't like Riverdale jokes, do a quick unfollow.
Yeah, hit the unfollow button. What doesn't matter to either of us. If you want to unfollow me, go ahead. It's at Last Cool Dude. Go ahead, block me if you want. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck you.
Definitely don't at me.
Route 2. Oh, we're also doing our slasher draft next week, so make sure you tune in for that slasher draft. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna fucking wipe the floor with your slasher draft.
Oh no, dude, I'm gonna fucking. Do I get to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, I get to go first, and you're fucked. Oh, maybe not, actually. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So tune in next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Chadley.
Buck Hollywood.